Okay, so in this video I'm going to be giving my final opinion on the Corsair MM800 RGB Polaris versus the Corsair MM350 Pro cloth mouse pad. So cloth mouse pad versus a hard mouse pad. Right off the bat, I much prefer the hard mouse pad. I will not be going back to the cloth mouse pad, but again, the cloth mouse pad is very comfortable as like a tablecloth. I'm literally using a giant mouse pad as a tablecloth because it's comfortable. It's pretty soft, nice. It's better than resting your hand on this wood crap. So yeah, the hard mouse pad just feels much more premium. It feels much more high quality. When I move the mouse around, it's so much smoother. I feel like I'm getting a lot more precision. The cloth, just feels muddy. It gives you some benefit of like not having to control the mouse as much because it's so muddy. But at the same time, it's just not nearly as fun to use. And I do feel like in the long run, it makes me play worse. So I'm actually preferring the precision, the higher smoothness of the hard mouse pad, and that's not going to change. One thing that I noticed that was really kind of disappointing is the Razer Viper we see here has these black feet, okay? And it feels smooth as butter when I move this around, okay? I really like how smooth it is. Maybe a tiny bit of grain, but not, actually it's really smooth compared to the Death Adder, which has these white feet. And I thought the white feet were supposed to be the more premium, but the black feet mouse feels much smoother. And I've had this mouse quite a bit longer. They feel about the same, honestly. It looks like I'm just really disappointed. I mean, if we look at the design, I mean, they have the feet in the same spot. And it looks like the Death Adder has bigger feet. But when I use this mouse, I don't know if you can hear it, compared to this one. Do you hear how much scratchier this one sounds? Can you hear that? So the Death Adder is just much scratchier, the Death Adder. I really need to get a shock mount for this microphone. But the Death Adder does feel noticeably scratchier. It's still fine, but I'm just kind of disappointed that the Viper feels smoother. So all those people who want these fucking white premium feet, sad to say, the black feet one feels a lot smoother. And people were talking about, oh, the new Viper has the white feet. So, but this Viper feels quite a bit smoother. And it was actually really disappointing because, again, I'm a huge Death Adder fan now. And it was kind of disappointing to realize that the Death Adder feels scratchier on this mouse pad. So it's supposed to have the better feet that are supposed to be smoother, right? I don't know. But the black feet one feels better, smoother, less scratchy. It's disappointing, to be honest. but it's still fine. It's fine. It's just disappointing to realize that the Viper performs smoother than the Death Adder. So anyway, I will never be getting rid of this hard mouse pad unless like I come across some sort of soft mouse pad that's smoother. But this is just much better than this muddy cloth waxy bullshit. So anyway, that's it. I much prefer the MM800 RGB Polaris over the MM350 Pro cloth mousepad. The Polaris hard mousepad is worth the money. I don't care if random Frank P doesn't like it. I don't care, you know. Again, I mean that's the reason why you don't want to watch a bunch of reviewers. I mean, they can only teach you so much. And at the end of the day, I guess you could say it's subjective, it's personal preference. I think the hard mouse pad makes me play better. I think it's a much more enjoyable experience. And I think it's totally worth it. And again, I use both of them. I use the cloth mouse pad as like a mat because it's comfy. And I use the hard mouse pad because it's fun. And yeah. Anyway, that's it for this video. Get both of them because I use both of them. But I use the hard mouse pad as the actual mouse pad. So anyway, that's it for this video. I kind of want to get a Razer Naga X, but God, it's like $90. I haven't really been paying attention to the price of it because, you know, lately I've been buying shit regardless of how much it costs. I don't even think about the price. I just click buy. But the Razer Naga, again, I can't find a justifiable reason to buy it. You know, like I don't need all those buttons on it. But again, I think the form factor is very interesting. I kind of want to try it. But again, I'm currently using the Viper for gaming. It's a gaming Viper. And the Death Adder for everything else. But I have to say I can definitely game with the Death Adder. To be honest with you, I think I play just as good. But I do get a little bit more smoothness with the Viper, like I said. And I do think it encourages me to aim more in a different, more precise way. While the Death Adder, you know, I think the success rate of actually getting hits on targets, for me, it's more about positioning, like having my character in the right position. So a lot of times I do side strafing to get on target rather than actual aiming. But there's situations where I find myself aiming much more with the Viper than the Death Adder, which allows me to focus less on aiming and more on, you know, what's going on around me. Again, when you first start playing video games, you know, if like you're focused on the control scheme more than the game, the more you practice, eventually you start focusing on the whole game rather than just trying to hit targets. And once you get to that point, it's really nice. And I feel like the Viper gets me there a little bit quicker, where that I'm focused more on the whole game rather than just hoping to God that I actually kill my targets. But again, I think accuracy-wise, I actually hit targets about the same with both of them. But I just feel like the Viper gives me a little bit more ease of, you know, control when it comes to aiming. But I honestly think I hit targets about the same with both of them. But sometimes I'm like, damn, I feel like the Viper is giving me some benefit over the Death Adder. But again, when you're not playing video games, the Death Adder wins in comfort, hands down. So, I don't know. I'm rambling. I hope you get it. I don't like praising the Viper, but it is smoother on the mouse pad. And I do feel like at times I'm encouraged to aim more with the Viper. But again, the Death Adder is much more comfortable for general computer use. And I do think, you know, you can hold it in so many different ways. You know, you can definitely do a claw grip. Like, it's so fucking easy. But, you know, I do feel like you get a slight advantage in aiming with the Viper. But at the end of the day, like I said, I think character positioning is the main way I get hits.